All right. So, hey guys. Real quick before we get to our little home screen thing, I just want to kind of show you one thing that we worked on today a lot. Hi, welcome by the way, but it's our showcase of our new logo. So here it is. Voila. That is our new Procussion logo. So, yeah, really fun. Very excited. How's it going? Hello, Arvanor. Thank you for watching. Super stoked. That's our new logo. It's like on everywhere. And speaking of everywhere, so we have some fun new things. Let's see. Let's go to this guy. That logo actually is with all of our other things. So I kind of redid everything and created basically a channel for everything. So I got it all. Like we got our tip bucket. We got our Google Drive in a better format. Again, everything from the stream that we talk about is and play and everything like that. That's all going to be on the Google Drive. You got your YouTube. It takes you all like to where all the video on demand stuff that we have. So I'm going to post everything on here, as well as some more things off stream. Then again, Facebook. I made a Facebook group for us. Twitter, if you want to do the Twitter thing, and then for Discord, for private lessons, or just for hanging out if you have any questions or anything like that. Here's the thing: is that I just heard that the school district that I teach at they extended their spring break for another week, and schools around my area are doing the same thing. Some schools are even canceling school indefinitely. So for a lot of people that do, this profession of teaching privately and everything like that, we're kind of out of jobs. So, I'm trying to do like the online teaching version of this and really just kind of bring the percussion community to the streaming community and just kind of see what I can do to just teach and play. And so we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about, let's go to our little home screeny. Yeah. Hey, how's it going? So today we're going to talk about some stroke types. I have a book that talks a lot about the different grips that go across different percussion instruments, and as well as just a lot of general information that's pretty good for just any non-percussion teacher, music teacher that's looking to teach percussion because they're forced to do it or anything like that. And then just for students, the book is getting really close to being done and available to actually like purchase in a website store to where you can get it sent to you like a nice professional copy. This is kind of like a test version of it, but yeah, we're pretty excited about it. We'll talk a little bit more about the book here in a little bit, and we'll kind of go through. I have some pictures that I want to show you from it, and then we'll kind of scroll through the actual PDF of it to talk more about some other things. But yeah, man, we're pretty excited. It's a lot of good work. So the intro that you just heard That was a good friend of mine, Clayton Stroop. So he lives down in Austin. We went to college together. We almost marched the same drum corps together. I think we were off by like 1 year or something like that. But super talented, just fantastic guy, really nice. We worked together for like a year or two, and he has basically just had started this collection of instruments and started to get better and better at doing these cool little tags and covers of like video game music. I think he has a band in Austin that does like video game covers. And so, man, check out his channel. Let's see if I can pull that up real quick so you can see it. There you go. Yeah, so this is his channel, man. He's got tons of videos that are just full for you to play. And again, if you go to the Google Drive, there's a just to show you real quick. You go to the Google Drive, and I've already uploaded his performance or all of his performances and stuff onto the Google Drive, so you can kind of check that out, and you can check out his YouTube channel and kind of look through all of that. But yeah, man, Clayton is a great guy. He actually agreed, and this hopefully, because we talked about this today, because I asked him permission to use his channel today, but he actually agreed to write the outro theme song to my stream. So instead of me just like trying to come up with some sort of song for the outro, I'm still going to do intro pieces and everything like that, but for the outro, he's going to have like a theme song for me, and I think that's really cool. He's like pretty excited about it. Most of the people that I've actually talked to about this idea have been pretty excited or pretty stoked on it. Like they think it's a good idea to do this stream stuff. So I'm gonna keep doing it because it's really fun. I was just kind of noting earlier today that I'm like writing down like lesson plans and like working like really hard to make this somewhat smooth. I'm not saying that it's exactly smooth right now, but I'd say from day to day it's getting exponentially better. So yeah, hopefully it'll get way better by the weekend, because I'm not streaming tomorrow officially. I might unofficially stream just because I need to get my viewer count up because I want my sub button. But yeah, okay, this shirt also, shout out to my old professor and just actually a really good friend now, Ed Smith. He taught vibraphone, jazz vibraphone, and gamelan, which we will get into some gamelan stuff here onto the stream. I actually have some recordings. That'll probably be like the intro of next stream. I'll show you. One of my friends lent me his Google Glass when that was a thing a couple years ago, and I was able to take it to like a rehearsal and play. And so you'll actually get to see Ed in that recording. But so this is a documentary that he made with his drum group called Da Drum, and they basically it's just like a bunch of really good percussionists that all enjoy like different world percussion from all around the world, and they brought it all together, and they've been drumming since like the 90s or something like that. And they happened to get this guy named Stuart Copeland, who is the drummer and band leader for the Police, to write a symphony for the drum, which is D apostrophe drum, and the Dallas Symphony Orchestra. And so this was this whole documentary on how they kind of put it together and everything like that. And I think I've donated to like the Kickstarter or something to get it going, and they sent me this shirt. So Da Drum, Dare to Drum. And on the back, you probably can't read it, but it just has all like the information. This is like the worst promo ever, but yeah, you should watch it. It's on Amazon. It's on Amazon, I think. Amazon Prime. So Dare to Drum, and it's on Amazon. So if you have Amazon Prime, watch that because it's really cool. Even if you're not a percussionist, it's actually like pretty cool to watch. So yeah, Okay. Let's see. What's next? Some more announcements. Let's see. Arvanor actually donated $5 yesterday, and I was dumb and had like the wrong link set up to my stream, and it didn't like do the whole like hello, you're amazing, thank you for donating. So I got to give him a shout out because thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate it so much. Like you have no idea. Um, that's the first donation. So I have to get like a little like widget somewhere along here that just like shows that you're cool and that you did that. So thank you, Arvanor. I appreciate it. Um, the 16th note grid that we did yesterday, that is up on the Google Drive. You can actually check that out. Let's see. Let's go to yeah. Let's see. So if you go to exercises and the 16th note grid, so the thing that we worked on yesterday, I went ahead and finalized it and kind of like finished it up. Um, so it has all the variations that we played yesterday, plus all the 2 note variations and all the 3 note variations. So it's got them all, and it still just like follows around that same 4-2-1 accent pattern. So you can follow along with that, and you can download that from the Google Drive. All of this stuff again, it's just like totally free. Take it, practice with it. You've got both the tracks. I have both the tracks for you already on there, so it's like all the different tempos and everything like that. So take it and run with it. If you like, this is a great thing to just like stick with your kids if you're just a non-percussion teacher and you want to just throw some exercises at them while you work with your band or something. This is a great thing for you to do. So yeah. Let's see other things. Yeah, the YouTube is up. Not only YouTube, like the Discord, the Facebook, the Twitter. I didn't do an Instagram, but I should. I haven't decided how I'm gonna do that yet, but yeah. And then I've been kind of brainstorming some more ideas for like my students that I actually teach. So if like you follow, you're gonna get 5% off of your lessons, and then if you subscribe, you're gonna get 10% off your lessons. It's like if it's like that, a subscriber Twitch Prime subscription. Um, and that I guess can apply also to my online lessons as well. So if you're interested in taking private lessons, let me know and shoot me a private message or email me at jackpronsky@yahoo.com. I believe my email is up somewhere. It should be up here. Let's see if I get this right. In this corner. You have no idea how difficult that was to get that on the first time. In this corner on this next little thing, it should have my card and everything like that. It's really tiny. It's so hard to read. But yeah, jackpronsky@yahoo.com. Or you can just message me on any of the various platforms that are available on the links below or anything like that. So again, welcome to the stream. I know we've been actually streaming for a little bit, but again, welcome. I appreciate you for coming in here and watching. So we're actually going to get drumming, and we're going to start off. We're going to play the last variation of our warm-up exercise for kind of like our middle school kiddos. So in my opinion, I think like if you are an 8th grader and going up into 9th grade, this is something that should be just relatively like you should be able to play this pretty easily. One of the exercises is not in the this set of warm-ups, but it's in the high school set of warm-ups, and so I have that other track right here, and I have it pulled up. It's just triplet diddle. That's the only thing that's not pulled up in the middle school tracks. So again, all of that stuff is available on the Google Drive, so it's all free. So just take it and run with it. But for right now, we're gonna start out with some 8 on a hand, and we're gonna get drumming. So let me get this set up. I know you guys are. All right. Again, for today, I'm still going to be using my Ralph Hardiman indoor sticks. I love the way these feel, so I'm just going to keep using them. I think I have the appropriate thing on there. Yep. Warm-ups. Good. That's all good to go. All right. Let's get started. Here we go. 8 on a hand.
8 on a hand. Bucks.
Yeah, we'll be talking a lot more about accents and taps and rebounds, strokes, and everything like that later on in the stream. That's kind of what this whole episode is going to be about. Ooh, yeah. But yeah, we want to make sure that when we're rebounding and everything like that, that upstroke is not too early. A lot of people are going to make the mistake to play it like down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Just because this is much lower to the pad, you're going to hit it a lot quicker. So you have to make sure that you really control exactly where that and is, or that upbeat, right? Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. All right, here we go. Remember, it's about halting the sticks, bounce back up with your fingers, right?
Double and triple beat.
Getting equal bounces on the 2s and the 3s. Another thing also I noticed after rewatching both of the last episodes, when I'm playing fast, my camera doesn't pick it up that well for a couple different reasons. One, the camera is like 9 years old. It's like really old. It's a good camera, but it's old. And then two, I don't have enough lighting. I have like 3 lamps pointed at me, but it's just not going to pick up the frame rate that I want. But so it's going to look really weird and somewhat behind when I play. Just listen. Another thing I've also noticed is that the microphone doesn't necessarily pick up at the same rate as what my computer is playing at. So when in doubt, just take the tracks on your own and play. And then I'm gonna fix this over amount of time. It's just what it is. I started the stream, and I barely know how to stream. I'm not great at video games, so I don't want to play those because I wouldn't get any views. But I'm kind of good at percussion, and we'll talk about some other things, some important announcements later on in maybe a couple of days. Who knows? Okay. Let's continue this double triple beat. You have no time for the tap off. Here we go. Still even notes.
Hopped up.
Rebounding everything. A lot of like if you're a 6th grader, I mean obviously a 6th grader's not watching this right now, but maybe in the future they will be. Human metronome. Thank you, John Dillinger. But yeah, so if you're struggling with being able to play those faster notes, like in quicker rhythms, like, right, just try one hand at a time and just play half rhythm, right? So if we're doing like one lolly. Just think about that right hand playing and then just kind of fill in with the left hand. It takes a little bit of practice, but it really helps to be thinking about a rhythm in the middle of all of that fast stuff. Otherwise, you never know when you're going to stop, really. So you just got to make sure just breaking it down into smaller chunks, or in this case, we're doing it into larger chunks, thinking about the bigger rhythm into all those smaller rhythms that we're playing. I'm thinking right hand. All right, here we go. Same thing.
16th note timing.
And we're going to do both 3-note and 2-note.
Tom's taps.
Go back up, Tom's taps. Really, really controlling that downstroke. So one thing I like to do with Tom's taps when I'm actually playing this with, or when I play this with my own 6th through 8th graders, is I would try to get them on the second rep, because again, if you haven't noticed, we do 2 reps of the same tempo, and then we bump it up a little bit, right? And it's interrupted with like different kind of count structures and everything. So I usually say on the second rep, let's do a different kind of variation. So on all of these second reps of the tempos, let's turn all of the accented notes into flams. So now we're actually playing the rudiment flam accents, right? Right? So we're actually putting a little bit of flam in there and everything like that, getting another just extra little tap note on there. Let's try that out after I drink my coffee. Here we go. This is just regular, no flams. And then this is with the flams. Actually, correction, no flams. And then, because this is the faster tempo. You always want to do the check pattern first before you introduce anything weird. Now here are the flam notes. Flam.
Rolls.
Okay, anyways. You may be asking, Jack, what's a flam? Well, let me answer that for you real quick. It's when you have one note play soft and the other note play loud, right? The easiest way to do it is just offset your hands like this and then drop them at the same time. One plays a grace note, which is a lower note, and the other one plays a louder note. So it just makes a pa sound. right? Some people like fatter flams or more tight flams, right? It just adds a little bit extra oomph to the note, a little bit more weight to the note. And it adds a little bit more challenge into control when you start putting them into different rudiments and everything like that. Again, later on in the stream, after we finish this little exercise, we're going to talk more about how to actually control and doing various exercises that really control, like doing upstrokes and downstrokes, and how to really think about certain rudiments that we'll play. We'll talk about all of that. We'll write some stuff like we did yesterday, and then get into the actual playing of it. I did like how that format kind of worked out, because then that allowed me to finish up the stuff after the stream and then post it for you guys. So it's just like another little worksheet that you can just print out and then hand to your kiddos, and then that's it. So I do like that idea behind it. So let's go ahead and finish this out. I think the next exercise that we're going to be playing is the rolls exercise. So this one, again, this is for 8th graders going into 9th grade. This is, I mean, if I played this and as like a test or something to go into 9th grade for an 8th grader, they should be able to play through all of these exercises. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just as long as they get the gist and the general understanding of what we're doing, that's the important thing. Now again, this exercise is maintaining that nice 8th note figure, and then using the finger to have those diddle strokes, right? Incorporate a really, really nice clean diddle. Again, you want to stop your students if they do this, right? Right? That means that they're not allowing this to bounce in this back of the hand. They want to make sure that there's a lot of freedom coming back here, right? And again, we'll talk about the fulcrum, right? We'll talk about that fulcrum later on too, when we crack into my book too. All right, cool. Let's finish this out. Rolls. Make it sound just like 16th notes, right? So with stick heights and with all these exercises that we play, if we're not doing any kind of like tap exercise with accents or rebounds with 2 different stick heights or anything like that, we're just going to assume that we're playing everything at like a forte volume, which I like to consider just a full out, full extension, right? If you're doing it correctly, I like to always say that you should see a crease kind of right here in your wrist if you're actually holding on to that full extension with that. And so every time we rebound, you can almost see it. I'm seeing it in kind of a reflection. There's a shelf back here, and it's kind of marking exactly where my stick height should be. And when I'm playing like forte or anything like that, this is pretty much at like my forte. Some people would say 12 inches, 9 inches, if they're going to do that stick height in the 3-inch variations or anything like that. Anything works. My thing is just as long as the stick is rebounding, right? If I had one of my old professors in college, in my undergrad, Christopher Dean, when we would take timpani lessons together, he would always bring out like tennis balls during the lesson, and he would have me actually like bounce the tennis ball into the drum head, to get used to this like feeling of this bounce and having it rebound back up into your hand and everything like that. And it really does help. Now, I don't suggest that you go and throw tennis balls at timpani heads or anything like that. We're in like a safe, enclosed area. There's safety crews around. We're making sure everything was like good. But yeah. All right, let's finish this up. This is the last couple bits of rolls.
Stick control.
All right, stick control down here. Making all the 16th notes even.
Triplet diddle.
Okay, this is the one exercise that's not on this set of warm-ups, the middle school battery warm-ups. This other set of exercises is going to be actually on my battery warm-ups, which I need to rewrite because this was from an old school that I used to teach at. But yeah, this is, again, all the stuff is on the Google Drive, which is down below. You just click on that little link down there, the little Google thingy, and then it takes you to the drive, which has all the information that we've been talking about on the stream. So a lot of good information. So right now, triplet diddle. Okay, this is just another variation of a diddle exercise. And if you notice, if you kind of look at it, it actually follows the grid outline that we worked on yesterday. So again, grids are everywhere with percussion. And it's such a helpful thing to use because it utilizes every aspect of how you play. So right hand, left hand. Are you doing the accents on this? Are you doing the accents on this? It gives you every variation, I guess is what I'm trying to say, of how to figure out like a certain rhythm or anything like that. Because again, breaking things down is going to be the most important thing. So this is another grid type exercise that you guys can use. So another thing is, this might be a question for the chat. Is this something that you think, because I think I'm finding out an option to where I might be able to stream this also on Facebook. So is that a good idea? Should I do that? I don't know. I mean, the youngsters don't really like watch Facebook, but I guess like old people watch Facebook. I'm an old person. I have Facebook, so I can say that. None of my students have Facebook, though. They're all about Snapchat and Instagram. I don't know. Whatevs. But, yeah. Okay. Triplet diddle. So this just works on all the different variations of doing diddles versus just regular tap notes. So the idea, again, is to make sure that every single note, there's no accented note. So in triplet diddle, we're not going to start off... Right, we're not going to accent these notes. It's just straight. So So we just want to make sure that we're following this exactly how it is written. Yeah, cool. Here we go. Triplet diddle. And this is the last variant of exercises that we're doing for today. A lot of people are, especially like on measure 150 right here, if you see this, a lot of people are going to want to accent these little tap fives. Right, tap, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. Make sure that you don't accent those non-diddled notes. These are just things that, in my experience, when I'm teaching younger students, these are just little pitfalls that they always step into. So it's something that you can kind of look out for. Okay, here we go. Finish it out. I'm also like reading through like 100 things while I'm playing through these with you guys.
Eight on a hand.
Okay. That concludes our warm-up. Now we're going to be playing some other things also today. But for now... Sorry, I don't want you to see the nitty-gritty of me going up and changing my camera angle and everything like that. Again, I only have one camera. And it's just this little tiny webcam. It's just this little tiny webcam that I'm able to, USB webcam that I'm using. So, but it works. It works. I just feel silly whenever you see me literally like changing it. So, okay, cool. So that was our little warm-up sequence. We'll do a lot of those periodically. For the weekend streams, because again, I stream. I think my streams actually are at 3 p.m. on weekends. So I do like a little bit earlier on weekends, just so that you have time in the morning, you have time in the evening, get a little bit of drumming in. But yeah, I'm thinking of possibly doing more writing during the weekends and then doing more playing during the weekdays. And for the mallet stuff, again, I'm just going to have to get more like recordings of me playing my warm-ups. We have tons of warm-ups up on the Google Drive that you can choose from. So It's just a matter of me putting some stuff probably on like the YouTube channel, and then basically just like playing it on stream and getting that going. So yeah, let's see. If you guys have any questions again or anything like that, just like let me know. Thank you so much for tuning into the stream. I really appreciate it. And I always do this. I always forget to put my mic up like this, and I'm sure that nobody heard like any of the words that I was just saying. I'm still waiting on the day that I forget to mute or unmute my mic from the beginning of the stream, and then I do like a whole warm up sequence and with my mic muted, and I've been and like I'll realize like an hour into the stream that I've just been muted the whole time. Hopefully, that doesn't happen, but who knows? Some other things to look out for. Again, we're changing things like every day with the stream. So let's go to our desktop. Yeah. Again, so with our Discord and everything like that, let's pull that bad boy up. I just created it, but basically this is like the entire Discord. There's stuff for when I go live. I'll always be in here, so you might even be able to pop in if I pull you in. I don't think anybody could join this channel except for me, but a lot of the announcements for the stream and for just in general, like I might try to just keep up with a lot of percussion related things, and like for instance, here's gonna be the first one. WGI is canceled. In case you didn't hear it from anybody else, you heard it from me. It's canceled. So yeah, the Dayton finals regional in Dayton, Ohio, that got canceled. So that's a big old frowny face for the percussion community. But yeah. So, but all of these take you somewhere. So let's just go real quick to some of this stuff. So this will take you to, bam, the YouTube page for Procussion, and you got both the episodes that we've done over the past 2 days. So that's fun and all good. You got the Facebook page, which again takes you to our Facebook page that has like nothing posted in it. But this is hopefully where I plan on going live from and getting that all taken care of, and like getting this community built up pretty big. I'm excited for this. Let's see. The Twitter, it's not really like, you just gotta like follow this. I mean, I'm not looking to, this is just like a fun thing. I'll post like cat videos and drumming things, but it's always fun for you to look at that. And then I think that's it actually. And then my tip jar, my tip bucket. This is actually an inspiration from back when I used to teach drum corps. In 2016, we had a drum bucket. It was 4th of July, and the entire staff of the drum corps that I taught at the Oregon Crusaders, we were just like hanging out in Oregon in this town called Seaside, Oregon, and we just decided to like, it was like this beach town, and it was 4th of July, and so we were just like hanging out, and lots of tourists and stuff, and so we started like a bucket drumming community or something. And it wasn't like a community, but we were just on the side of the street, and we just like started bucket drumming and put one in the center and got tips. I think we got like free drinks that night from just all the tips that we got from just drumming. So there it is. Boom. Yeah, those are all my things that I've created so far, and definitely going to create a lot more. So this brings us to actually the next thing that we're going to work on, which is actually my book. So this is the old version of my book. Let's see, what page are we on? 24. Okay. It's a big book. It's got a lot of information on it, and all the pictures that I've drawn are hand drawn. I've actually redone most of the drawings on them. So like for instance, this is the front page of the old book, and I redid a drawing to make this the new front page of the book, and so I've redid all the drawings. Really funny thing is I did all of the old drawings in like notes, like the iPad Notes app. Like it wasn't a drawing app or Photoshop or anything like that. And so they look kind of crude and not great. You can kind of tell a lot of the detail on the picture just doesn't look like fantastic. And so I redid a lot of the pictures. And so, for instance, we're actually going to start off with our just talking about some different grips. Yeah, I was just kind of looking at my schedule with this. So we'll start off with some snare drum stuff. Since we're already focused on snare drum, we can kind of get into this. So what we'll do is we'll go to a different scene, into our drumming scene. And this kind of works pretty well, actually, with this. So let's see. How do I, zoom in? Yeah, baby. There we go. All right. Okay, so you can kind of see this crude drawing. This is the new snare drum fulcrum grip picture. So as you can kind of tell, they look a little bit better. This one looks a little bit better than that one. Again, this is hand drawn. It does not look that great, but it's funny. I just said it's hand drawn. They're hand drawings. Hand drawings. Okay, yeah. Anyways, so fulcrum. Let's talk about the fulcrum for a little bit. The book is just broken down into a lot of different things. The new edit of the book has all the same information. It has some new pictures that I've done. I redid every single picture in the entire book. And then it is being edited right now by my wonderful girlfriend, Caroline, who's, I think, doing it literally as we speak. She is editing the book, and it looks great. That's, what she does for a living. That's her, job. And she has, a career in which she makes tons more money than I do doing this. So I'm so excited to actually, see a book that's not done in Microsoft Word, which is what I did this in. Or I did it in Pages, which is Microsoft. It's not Microsoft, but anyways. So, snare drum. So we have the match grip, right? So I'm just going to read this through, because essentially this is what a band director that doesn't have a percussion teacher should be able to do, and should be able to just read this and go, I understand. But that's why this channel is so awesome, because it can be a supplement to help you kind of understand this a little bit more. The ultimate goal for this book is to literally have one of those little QR codes, I think is what they're called. And so when you're going through the book, you can literally just scan that QR code, and it'll take you to a YouTube video that explains this page, which is essentially kind of what we're doing right now. I'm going to be kind of explaining to you in a little bit more detail of what's going on in the book, but I'm going to read this for you, right? So a snare drum stick is held very similar to a keyboard mallet, with more emphasis on the front fulcrum. All right, so if we talked about fulcrums before, that is going to be our fulcrum, right? It's that pinch, that pivot point between our thumb and our pointer finger, right? Okay, so the idea is that when you're holding onto the stick, it's got to pivot somewhere, right? It's got to pivot kind of like this, right, somewhere. And the best way to hold on to it, and we'll talk about it, is right there. But is the idea of your thumb and your pointer finger should be pretty much right in the same line as each other when you're playing this. Sorry, I'm trying to work with this camera. It's not really working that well. One of my colleagues said you can shoot a nail gun right through, and it should come right through, so it's right through my thumb, and it should go through the stick and right through my pointer finger. And that's kind of what our front fulcrum is, what we'll call it. And our back fulcrum is more back with these three fingers and holding on back here. But with snare drum grip, and we're holding on with snare drum, you're definitely going to want to hold on, and it's going to be more of a focus of here, and that's how we get that pivot and that's how you can kind of feel the wiggle in your fingers, letting the stick kind of pivot. So let's go back to it. So the back 3 fingers still create the back fulcrum, kind of what we talked about. Again, if you go up like 20 pages in the book, it'll talk about front fulcrum and back fulcrum, but that's with mallets. This is with snare drum stuff. So, but it now can be removed from the stick at times to help with like rolls. So, unlike mallets you do hold on back here the whole time, and it's more of like a wrist bend, because the mallet instruments don't necessarily have as much bounce as the drum instruments, the membrane instruments, right? They don't necessarily have as much bounce. So with this, we want to see how much bounce that the actual stick will give us. But with mallet instruments, we're holding on and creating all of that with our wrists. So there's a difference. Snare drum, more here, holding on, but still a lot of freedom. A lot of stuff comes from the wrist, but still there's a big pivot coming from that fulcrum. And then for mallet instruments, it's more from here, and we're holding on here. You can almost have freedom in these front 2 fingers and still be successful with your strokes with mallet grip. That's actually called crab grip, which is, we'll talk about that later on. I don't want to get too into it, but yeah. In match grip, both hands are identical. You have match grip and traditional grip with snare drum, but we're going to talk about just match grip for today. So formation of the grip. So we got the front fulcrum should be held about 1/3 away or up from the stick. So what I like to do when I do this is, and I'm teaching, is we hold on to the stick in thirds like this, right? And then if you got the butt end of the stick here and the tip here, so we're going to be holding on here. With the Vic Firth sticks, and this is actually why I chose the Ralph Hardiman sticks for today, and you're going to see that in a lot of other sticks, they'll have an American flag. Oh, goodness. Mirrors. They'll have an American flag right here. You can actually put your thumb, I always tell my students, they did this on purpose, I like to believe. You can put your thumb right there, and that is actually the third of the stick that you need to be holding on to. So you can tell your students that have trouble with like breaking it down and understanding, they actually put something there. Another thing that you can do is you can put a little sticker there. If you're a teacher, you can put a sticker. You can put a Sharpie marking, make sure it dries before they use it, because then they'll have like a little black dot on their thumb. But just little things. Again, students, sticks are cheap. You're going to get more sticks throughout your years of playing. So the earlier that you start off and you see those little visual helpers and everything like that, it's just an extra help. Okay, so the front fulcrum should be held about 1/3 up. So again, on that American flag, boom, we're just going to grab that. So the rest of the stick, we rest the stick on the first knuckle of the pointer finger, right? So if we're going from the tip, first knuckle is going to be here, and then second, and then you have the third knuckle right here. So first knuckle, we're going to rest that stick on that first knuckle, almost cradle it, right? Cradling it on that first knuckle right there. And then we're going to lay the thumb flat on top. Boom. So flat on top. If the front fulcrum is placed correctly, there should be an imaginary straight line leading from through the thumb, stick, and the first knuckle of the pointer finger. What we talked about earlier, you can have that gruesome shooting the nail gun through, and it should just like stick on through. But straight line works too. If you actually see the drawing, there's like a little imaginary little line that I put there. It's not in the new one, but I guess I X'd out of that. But yeah, it's not necessarily the new one. Okay, so the back fulcrum. So we'll finish this up. So the back fulcrum is we wrap the 3 remaining fingers around the butt end of the stick. But they shouldn't hold on to the stick too tightly. They should hold on to it, but it's never a squeeze. So we're never going to be doing most of our stroke types when we're doing just regular rebound strokes. We're never going to be holding on all the way with this. We want there to be some freedom with this. We want there to be some bounce. Otherwise, you're going to get some bad wrist problems. You're not going to get the sounds you want. It's going to be really tense. This is where you see a lot of 6th graders like really struggle with how to get that rebound and how to really understand. But it's much like riding a bike. Like, you're going to fall down a lot. You're not going to understand it a lot until you just kind of get it from just practicing a lot. And it's a lot of really just watching your students and just making sure that they're not squeezing onto the stick when they're playing snare drum and just bending their wrist only. We do want them to use a little bit of finger and have that bounce happen, because that's just going to get you a better sound, more natural strokes, everything like that. Okay. All right. So with that being said, with all the different kind of stroke types, let's go to, let's see, we'll talk about trifulcrum in a little bit. But for example, again, here's just an example of the different pictures that I have. I did a little bit better with the, I feel, with the pictures this time around. You know, obviously don't see that triangle there, but it just looks a lot better, I feel like. So yeah, and it was a lot of fun doing all of this art. So it's a blast. Cool. All right, so let's get down into the 4 main stroke types. All right, so there's really 4 main stroke types. This is the only part of the book that actually has like a recommendation on playing things. There's not much things that in this book that are actually like, try playing this. It's mostly explaining how to form the grip and how to play. It doesn't really tell you to play this certain thing. This is the only one in the entire book, I think, that has like, try this out. And I might need to actually draw that for you, because I'm not sure if you know how to edit this, because I can draw that out pretty easily. It's all good. It's all good. This is a great exercise for you and your students to work on. It does all the main kinds of stroke types, right? You have full stroke with a rebound. We'll talk about all these stroke types as well. So you have full stroke, and then you have downstroke, tap, a little tap stroke, and then an upstroke, right? We'll talk about all those, but you can play that in succession and kind of form an exercise based off of that. And then we're actually going to write some of those exercises here in just a minute. But let's just talk about the different kind of stroke types, okay? So most snare drum literature uses 4 main stroke types in order to play rudimental figures and to help with dynamic range. These strokes are all used in percussive arts, but we'll be discussing it in detail in the snare drum section. All right, and those 4 stroke types are full stroke, downstroke, the tap stroke, and the upstroke. So let's just break them down real quick. So full stroke, it's also known as the piston stroke, the rebound stroke, etc. They're all the same kind of strokes. It's a stroke that begins up, its full extension starts up, right, and then travels down and right back up in the same speed, same velocity. So it starts up and ends up. If that makes sense. So starts up and ends up. This is our basic stroke type. If you're teaching this, this is going to be the first thing that you probably teach to a student. So for example, let's take the camera down here and bring out the pad just real quick. These are just going to be regular, just, you have the starting position up here, and then it ends here. A nice just wrist stroke. Again, what we talked about, a little bit of that finger, mostly wrist, especially when we're going slow like this. We talked about this in previous episodes. Remember, when we're playing slower, the bigger muscle groups are going to be utilized more to create just more of a powered stroke, just to make it sound a little bit better. But yeah, so these are going to be our full strokes, or our piston strokes, where it starts up and ends up. All right, the next stroke that we have is going to be our downstroke. So that is a stroke that begins at full extension. And when I say full extension, I mean there's a crease in our wrist. So I can even kind of show you. Do you see that crease in my wrist? That is what you're looking for. It's not going to be as prevalent in every student, but that's kind of what we're looking for. Again, it's with that wrist bent all the way up. I have a breakdown in the actual book that shows you like percentages of what you should be looking for and how to actually form like a really, really good stroke. And I'm so excited because it's just stuff that we can talk about on the stream all the time. So this will be kind of like a weekend thing where we talk more about just like breaking down stroke types and really the nitty gritty, where again during the weekdays we can play a little bit more and everything like that. My school is shut down next week, so I'm supposed to be teaching 40 lessons that week, and I am now teaching 0 lessons that week. So I need to be able to get this going a little bit more, and I think this is going to be a good supplement to, you know, teaching lessons and everything like this. And it's fun. I don't know if you guys are having fun, but I'm having fun teaching it. So a stroke type that begins, now we're on downstroke, so it begins up at full extension, and then it ends down by the drum head. All right, so there's still a little bit of space. I would say if you wanted to, you could put just like a stick tip or a finger width worth of space here. Once I get my next camera, I'll be able to have like a camera view where you actually are able to like see up close what I'm talking about. But for now, you kind of get the gist of it. So be prepared to hold the stick a little tighter in order to stop the rebound from bouncing too high off the head, right? So if we're not squeezing the stick, right, it's going to bounce back up, right? If I'm just holding on with fulcrum only and I just let the stick kind of bounce on its own, it does have a natural bounce back up, right? Like kind of what we talked about with like the tennis ball. It's going to bounce back up, just not as high, right? So the idea is, if we stop that stroke with our fingers, if we stop that stroke with these back fingers and hold on to it, right, it's not going to bounce as much. There's a little bit of a bounce up, but the idea is the more that we practice and the better that we get at this, the idea is that it stops basically right down here, right? And the more impressive that you see it is when you have really, really low taps or low downstrokes that are very controlled. This is all about control. This whole page is with this. And then the next thing is that there should only be one bounce that occurs. So a lot of people will go too far. They'll crush too much. They'll squeeze too much, and they'll actually form that multiple bounce stroke are buzzes. They'll actually buzz into the head, and that forms not a great downstroke. So you just want to get that happy medium, right, of just that downstroke that happens right into the pad, and you freeze it with those fingers. So again, piston stroke starts up, ends up, a lot of freedom, just holding on mainly with our front fulcrum and our fingertips, right? Fingertips stay on the stick, but they're not squeezed into it. And then our downstroke that starts up and ends down without having any kind of buzz or a bounce back up, then you kind of like freeze it down. Okay, those are just things that if you're a teacher, you can look out for on that. All right, the next stroke that we have is going to be the tap stroke. This is a piston stroke. So this is essentially the same thing as this, but instead of starting up and ending up, we're going to start down and end down. So the reason why we still call this a piston stroke is because you are starting and ending in the same place. So you're starting and ending in the same place, even though we're way closer to the pad, right? It's a, again, in the book it says, it's a stroke that starts down near the drum head and ends in the same position. It's for softer dynamics, really controlling that out. Again, with any kind of taps, we're not using, it's not a big stroke, so we're not going to be using our elbows, not our arms. We're using a little bit of wrist and mainly some fingers, right? And that's going to form a really, really good tap stroke because it's all about control. One thing I always like to point out with my students is when I'm talking about control is I'll try to like literally like turn off a light switch, but just like with my arm extended all the way, and then also like with the very tip of the stick, and I'll try to like turn off the light switch in the lesson room or something. Like it's impossible to do that with ease, but it's really easy to just go up and just like grab the light switch and turn it off and then turn it back on. But yeah, So a tap can be considered a miniature full stroke because it returns to the original starting position, and it uses the same amount of velocity going up and down. So those are our tap strokes, right? Tap, 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 tap. And then last but not least is our upstroke, and this is kind of the weirdest one to explain, but it's a stroke that starts down, so it starts down, right, near the drum head, and it ends up at full extension. So it's the opposite of the downstroke, and this usually tends to set up for a louder note. So it's a softer note that usually tends to set up the next note being loud. So for instance, it looks like this. So you heard a small note, small tap, the same volume as our taps, but this is going to rebound up. I consider this a happy little accident, right? Is that Bob Ross? A happy little mistake?
Happy little accident.
A happy little accident, right? It's just oops. I'm going fast up. I'm thinking about this motion going up, right? Up, and I accidentally just hit the pad as I'm going up. That's the easiest way to explain it. You want to just get one small little note as we're going up. That makes sense? Yeah. Okay, so those set up for a full stroke or a downstroke. Okay. We're going to play this exercise just real quick. Nothing too crazy. We're going to do it in the right hand, and then we're going to do it in the left hand. And matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and get my metronome out. This is the first time that we're doing this, so hopefully this works on the stream. That works. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is basically we're going to work on the exercise like this. We'll go right hand to start. We'll go full stroke, downstroke, tap stroke, upstroke. Join in here. Here we go. And full stroke. So you're working on all these different ones. If this is too fast, you can slow it down. Then downstroke, tap, then upstroke. So again, you want quick motions. The quicker that you get, you can think of it like a hurry up and wait. The quicker that you get there, the more time you have to think about what you're doing next, if that makes sense. So quick velocities. Let's do left hand too. Here we go. And downstroke, tap, and upstroke. Tap. Oh, sorry. Tap. And then upstroke here. Yeah. Okay, and then you can do it kind of twice as fast. Tap, up, pull, down, tap, up, and then pull, down, tap, up. Even faster. Cool. I think my headphones just died, so hold on real quick. Gotta plug them in. Boom. Okay, I'm back. All right. So, yeah. Let's get into some writing. I didn't realize all this stuff was gonna take this long, but I'm actually kind of happy that it is, because that just means that, we're doing something right. So, yeah, let's get into it. You guys, again, rock for chilling with the stream for so long. I appreciate it. We've had a solid couple viewers the whole time, and hopefully we're gonna get more. There's been a lot of posts on Facebook between like the percussion educator community, and everybody is kind of wondering like, what do we do? And so I feel like this is a good I feel like this is a pretty good way to kind of combat that. There's another great resource out there. I'll have to link it or put it on the Discord announcements or anything or something like that. But it's like a percussion education course that you can take online. So it kind of supplements all the stuff that we're doing here. This is not something that I am a part of. I just saw it online, and it's something you have to pay for. But it's a cool little, like, it has like a nice little percussion literature and percussion history, and it shows you some good performances and stuff. So it might be worth looking into for sure. Again, this is all free. The only thing that I ask for is that you give me a follow. Whenever I get the sub button, hopefully I'll get that fairly soon. If I get your Twitch Prime subscription, that would be freaking sweet. And then yeah, throw some money in that tip bucket too. But I'm not asking you to pay for anything on that Google Drive. I'm just gonna keep posting stuff and keep trying to make things great for you and for the teachers that again don't have percussion students. This is like for you. I've spent the past like 5 years like trying to figure out how I can get back to the percussion community, and I think this is definitely something that I'm gonna be doing for quite a while because I just have a blast doing it. I'll just be honest with you, like this is so much fun. So I've written more lesson plans for streams than I have like for real life. I feel like it's not necessarily true, but I feel like I put more time and care into these lesson plans. So all right, the next thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to write up ourselves some accent tap exercises, and then we'll play through them. We'll talk about like one or two more things, and then we'll pretty much be done until Saturday at 3 o'clock. So I appreciate you guys for sticking around. We'll try to get through this fairly quickly, and then get back to the playing. So yeah. In the meantime, while I'm kind of doing this, does anybody have any questions or anything like that? Any comments? Any stories? I feel like I'm not the greatest storyteller, as you could tell from like my past two streams. I tend to get lost in my stories, so I'm not going to try to tell many more stories unless they're short. But yeah, so here we go. Writing this music. Oh my goodness. Here. Let's see. We're going to start off. We're going to just do like a bunch of different lines of exercises. And then this is going to be something that you can just kind of like take and just like shove at your kids and be like, here, go work on accent tap exercises. Here's a couple of warm-ups that you can do. You can just print it out and go throw it at them, and it'll be really, really good. I'll probably have this posted tonight after the stream as soon as we finish with this. So we're just going to fill out some of these. Boom, boom. The first two exercises that we'll write out are going to be bucks and inverted bucks. So I'll show you guys what I mean by that. So doop to do. We're gonna put this all on the same line. So another thing with writing this music is I like need to get better at writing. So essentially, this is just something that I'm forcing myself to do. So, you know, starting off, I'm not going to be great with like key binds and stuff like that, but just bear with me because it's going to be a lot of fun once I actually get good at this. Okay, so that'll be bucks, and then we'll have inverted bucks, and then we'll have oh my gosh, that actually is fine for me for right now. Okay, so we'll have bucks, we'll have inverted bucks. Let's write this out real quick. Yeah, that's gonna make this a little bit easier. Okay, so that's bucks. Inverted bucks is gonna be the opposite, where basically all the upbeats are accented. It's always good to just play any exercise that you have in any kind of variation. Because this way, this just like works on just how the students can hear things a little bit differently and their perception of an exercise and how they play it. There's only a finite amount of variations that you can rebound your hands and everything like that. So the more that you vary your hands during your practice, the easier it is to translate that to like performance or learning any more challenging things. So, yeah. Where is everyone from? That'll be a question right there. How about that? Where is everyone from? And let's see if anybody responds on the chat. Sweet. Anyways, this is going to be our triplet. Not triplet bucks, but I call these bucks threes. Check it to chat. 7. I think we might be able to fit these all on the same line. It's all squished up, but that's okay. That's fine. All right, and then. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's fine. We'll do this. That doesn't look good, so we'll do 3. We'll force a line break right here. And then we'll do these 4 on this line. Do another line break right there. So that'll be one exercise. Just to show that it's one exercise, we'll bunch them together. Like so. Okay. There, same idea. But now this is going to be the 3s, but inverted 3s. So let me try to use my brain here. If I copy here and paste that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yep, that works. Okay. Well, let's break that there and break that there. Turn those into double bar line. Again, this is just how quick can we write an exercise for our students and then spit it out. So this is something that you should be able to do in between classes, possibly. You know, if you just like need like a warm-up sequence, you're able to do this. And if not, You can just download it off the Google Drive. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. It's like I keep repeating that same thing over and over again. I'm giving you all these free resources to do whatever you want with them. Play things, learn things, have fun. Okay, so with this, we're going to actually start writing some stickings in, because we can play these 3 exercises, because these are like our basic Bucks exercises. So just for you guys, we'll go to the stickings. It actually, in Sibelius, they actually have a percussion stickings thing that actually works really well. But the cool thing about the Bucks exercise is that we don't necessarily need it for every one. We can just do like every hand. So that's right hand, then left hand, right hand, left hand, and right hand. And then you repeat it, right? And then same thing with Bucks this way. I like, whenever it's not accented, I like to not capitalize the letter. It's just a me thing. Just a me thing. I'm gonna do me. Okay, so there's our Bucks inverted. And then we have our Bucks 3s, which is still in 8th notes. You could do like an actual triplet, but with students that don't know triplets, or if they haven't figured out triplets yet, this just kind of makes it a little bit easier, because you can still just say it's in 3s. Mountain Dews. Yeah, sure. Okay. So this will be right. And it's still going to be in sets of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. And here's where the left hand will be. Left, 2, 3, 4. Again, this just goes over a pattern of every 1.5 bars instead of every 1 bar, because these are just a little bit longer. And then same idea with the inverted Bucks 3s, non-capitalize. Okay, let's play these. Let's play these 4 thingies. So, all right, let's stick the metronome on. We'll just go over each one of them like 2 times each. Okay, so here we go. We got the first one, which is going to be just regular old Bucks. This is just stock Bucks. So we're focusing on that downstroke and upstroke. If we remember the stroke types back before. Hey Yarrant667, welcome to the channel. I appreciate you for coming in and watching. Thank you. Yeah, so again, downstrokes, right? Downstrokes and upstrokes is what this exercise focuses on, within the accents being on the downbeat with that. So here we go. This is, here we go, 1 and 2 and ready and go. And down, up, left hand. Two, same thing, and go. Alright, so again, just downstrokes and upstrokes. The quicker the motion between the 2 strokes, that's what we're looking for. Just making sure we're freezing in between. A lot of people are going to want to wander off with their sticks while they're not thinking about, like they're just thinking about playing with this hand. Their left hand kind of goes off like that. Just make sure there's just 2 tracks that our hands play, just like that. Okay, the next one is going to be the reverse bucks. So where we start with our 6 down, right? And then we do everything in the opposite version of this. This is going to be the second line of things, starting right here. Here we go. And 1, and 2, and ready, and go, and up, down, up, left hand. Again, and ready, and go, and good. And really just laying down, making sure that those tap notes are exactly in time with the metronome. A lot of people, this concept for beginners. So again, I'm talking to my non-percussion teachers that are teaching percussion. This concept is pretty challenging for a 6th grader to get at first because they have to think about a lot of different things. We usually just teach one, just straight up and down our rebound strokes, like our regular piston strokes. This is something that they have to really think about because they're freezing the stick. They're essentially breaking down this piston stroke into 2 different strokes. And so they really have to think about the mechanics that their hands are working. It's something that you just have to play a lot of and get used to. And so what I suggest with, if you're a teacher just getting thrown into teaching this, take that metronome. Right now we're just clicking along at 50 beats per minute. I might have a warm-up track that I make for this particular sheet of music, just so that you don't even need a metronome, or you don't even need anybody there. You can just click on the track and then have it go. But I have it on here. You can literally take any speed and really and just break it down. So break it down into half of what the speed that's actually playing. So if we did this, I would usually start my 6th graders where we would go down, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4. It gives them so much time to think about every single stroke. That way they know if they're doing it exactly correct or not. It takes a long time. It's a good way to fill out a class if you're, have a really long class or anything like that. But this is a great start. And then you can start really bumping up the speeds just a little bit, but still with that 50 beats per minute on the metronome. And then breaking it into that. And then even faster, right? Okay. All right, let's go to the Bucks 3s. All right, these will all be labeled as well once they get onto the Google Drive, but it's going to start right here on this measure. It's the same idea, but now instead of playing just our accents and our taps, or our accents and our rebounds, so our downstroke and our upstrokes. Instead of just doing that, we're introducing now a tap stroke into the mix, or in between those strokes. So down, tap, up, down, tap, up, down, tap, up, down, tap, up, then left hand. And the idea is that you want to make sure that the tap stroke and the upstroke are the same volume. So there's essentially 2 heights that you're figuring out. You have your downstrokes and your accent strokes, or your downstrokes height here, and then your little tap heights and your upstrokes, and they're all the same volume, or the same volume and stick height. So down, tap, up, down, tap, up, down, tap, up, down, tap, up, then left hand, tap, up, down, tap, up. All right, so that makes sense. A lot of people are going to want to change and do 3 different stick heights, so they'll have their accented stick height and then a really soft note, and then it's leading up and then to the higher note. Really make sure that you strive to get that low ceiling for those taps and those upstrokes, and that they're right in time with this. Again, you can do this at a slower speed or you can do it faster. It all just depends on your playing and ability levels with that. All right, the last one that we'll do is going to be the 3 bucks threes, but on the inverted. So now we're doing all the accents. If we're hearing groups of 3, it's going to be on the 3rd note of each of these groups of 3. So here we go. And 1, 2, ret, T, go. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Left hand. And right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Again, and last time on this, we have tap, up, down, 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 tap, up, and stop. All right, that's the general idea behind these. Let's turn off that Met and go with this. Let's go back to our Sibelius cam, get all of that going. Hey, how's it going? So stroke type exercise is again what we're working on. We just did like some 4 main stroke types. The next one that we would do would be working more into what our book was calling for, or what my book was calling for. So it's we're diving more into like the down, up, or down, or piston stroke, full stroke, downstroke, tap stroke, upstroke. So now these other exercises that we can do kind of are just like small variants of this. So we don't necessarily have to do a lot of measures of them. We can literally just do like 2 measures each. In this case, we'll just do 4 measures for each one, just so that it just remains the same on each of these. But we'll just write out a couple different accent patterns for these guys. So what we'll do here is, let's see if I had the smart way of doing this yesterday. Made it a little bit easier for us. This one is going to be down ups, but now we're incorporating right and left hand. So with that, that'll be right, left, and then non-accented right, left. If that makes sense. So we'll just go ahead and do like that. So boom. So that works on downstroke, downstroke, upstroke, upstroke, downstroke, downstroke, upstroke, upstroke. So now we're using right, left sides instead of just focusing on one hand only. This is a really good thing. You can just focus and make sure that you're mirroring your hands, or that your students are mirroring their hands. Coffee. Okay. The next one that we have is going to be the exercise layout that we were actually playing earlier in the book, and you're actually laying it out with both hands now. So instead of doing right hand downstroke, or sorry, a rebound stroke, downstroke, tap, upstroke, now we're doing both hands. So we'll go right hand rebound, left hand rebound, then down, down, tap, tap, up, up. We'll go over all of this with the metronome here in just a second, but for right now we're gonna keep writing out the stickings and everything like that, just to make sure that we totally understand. This makes my job a little bit easier later on tonight too. And then we'll repeat that measure 4 times. And then we're just going to do 2 more. Matter of fact, if I can, that would be cool if I could turn all those into triplets, which I can't, of course. Check-a-da. Right. Oh, I can like totally. Oops. Left. Right. Left. Repeat. But I want to keep these 4 bars together. What? Come on now. This program doesn't like to be my friend sometimes. There we go. Boom. Okay, and then last is going to be these guys, and I might switch the order of these two because doing these triplets are actually going to be easier than the variation that I'm about to just show you right now. But we're going to talk about one of our first rudiments. And we'll break down rudiments and everything like that. There's 40 main ones. But this one is going to be our first one that we actually talk about. Right, left, right, left, left. We got ourselves a paradiddle. All right, and it's super challenging to play correctly when you break down exactly what the stroke types are supposed to be doing, which makes the triplet version, these little accented triplets, makes that actually a lot easier to play than the paradiddles when you really think about all the stuff that's going down. So we have our next set of 4 exercises that we're going to be doing. Again, these are great breakdowns for your students to talk about exactly what kind of strokes and everything like that we're doing. It wasn't hard to do, right? You can get Sibelius on your own and write these exercises out. This is not a hard thing. It's not a $800 program anymore. You can get subscription stuff. So if you are already paying $8 a month for your Netflix subscription or $12 a month for your Disney Plus subscription, I think we pay $15 a month for our Spotify subscription because we have our family one. But hey man, Spotify's killer. I'll totally pay $15 for that. But you could pay $10 a month and get this program with all of the bells and whistles. And it's not just for percussion writing. You can do this for every instrument. You can write out stuff. It's not the beautiful like Logic program that does cost a lot of money. It's not like what we would call a DAW, digital audio workspace. It's not one of those, but it is absolutely something that you would need if you're an educator, music educator, and you just want to write stuff out. This is the best way to give your students the most just detailed and specific kind of education is if you write out stuff for them all the time. When I was a percussion educator for an actual school district, that's something that I did all the time. I would write music that was altered for the student. So if they were playing something and their band director was like, dude, they can't do this, then I would just write something that would make it, this is a quick fix kind of situation, but you just write something a little bit easier, right? You're just altering things to make the general success of everyone just a little bit better. And it makes it more fun for them. Again, these are like 12-year-olds. So, like, if you just yell at a 12-year-old over and over again because they're not, like, playing some 16th notes correctly, they're probably going to quit. Right? So, I'm not saying that you want to, like, just, like, totally baby them and everything like that, like any kind of student. But you know, if they see that you're going through the efforts of writing stuff and making stuff tailored specifically for them, they're probably going to want to put a little bit more effort into how they approach things. Just a small little observation. So I'll step down from my soapbox and step into our playing scene. Hello. So we're going to do these same scenes, or the same warm-ups, same speed, but we're going to talk about how these just differ a little bit and what we really should be looking out for when we're playing through them. Let me move my mic a little bit. All right. So let's continue on with this. All right. So this first exercise that we have, again, is the it's like bucks, but now we're using both the hands in alternating fashion, I guess is the correct terminology for that. So again, it's very much like bucks, but we're using both hands in alternating fashion. So here we go. This is measure 25, that top line, and we got 2 and ready and go and. Again, 2 and ready and go. Notice how I'm just mirroring each hand. Right, now off the left hand, 1 time left hand. Okay, next measure is going to be measure 29, the next line down, where we actually go through all the stroke types. So this is exactly what's listed in my book, but now we're splitting up the hands. So we're starting off with full strokes, 2 full strokes, then 2 downstrokes, then 2 tap strokes, and then our upstrokes, which set us up for the repeat of our full strokes. If that makes sense, just read what's on the music, and let's play through a couple of measures of this. Here we go, 2, we're ready, and go, and. Makes sense. Let's do it off the left hand. It's always nice to do everything off of both hands just to get a nice equal balance of what you're working on, what you're practicing. Here we go. 2 and ready and go. Left hand. Make sense? Great. Okay, so now we're actually going to skip to the next, we're going to skip to that bottom line, and we're actually going to play a little bit slower, but incorporate triplets into this. All right, so with these, again, each hand is actually going to be playing downstroke, tap, upstroke, downstroke, tap, upstroke. But with this, you see how our hands, we're doing that downstroke, tap, upstroke just on staggered starts with our hands. But if we really understand setting up each of those strokes with the correct stroke type, right? So if I'm doing the proper downstroke, it's going to really help me play those tap strokes, right? And that upstroke will really help me play that downstroke faster, right? Right? So the idea is making sure that we get really, really good, we know the stroke types when we practice them at a slower speed, much like what we're doing now. We're going to be doing this at a faster speed later on. This is all introduction stuff just to kind of show you. I have a feeling that this is going to really blow up and really take off. And so, again, I'm still just thinking of it's almost a curse right now. I am constantly thinking of new ideas for the stream. And like today, I sat down at the computer at literally like 8 in the morning, and I don't really think I got up from the computer aside from to like eat food. So I just did a bunch of stuff getting ready for this. But yeah, okay. Let's do this last little bit. So this is going to be the last line, and then we'll do the second to last line, and then I think we'll call it for tonight. So here we go. Let's try this triplet accent figure at the very bottom. Here you go. 2, ready, and go to 3. All right, that's the right idea. Let's do it off the left hand start just for the sake of consistency. 2, ready, and go to 3. Left. Make sense? Good. Okay, and then for the last thing that we're going to be doing today is going to be our paradiddle accent pattern breakdown. And the reason why I did the triplet version first is because this is essentially the same thing, but now we're adding just an extra tap in there. So right, tap, tap, upstroke. Downstroke, tap, tap, upstroke. That makes sense. So it's much like the triplet figure that we have right here, that triplet figure. But now we're adding an extra tap and making them those paradiddles. A lot of people are just going to play paradiddles like this, and it's not going to be any accented notes, but really being able to play with everything at the same volume on those lower notes, it's just very impressive to be able to play like that, especially if you're playing for like a judge or getting a recording. You want to be able to really, really show off your different stick heights and really show that you have a really good understanding of how to do those kind of strokes with that. Okay, so this variation, again, the hand by itself is playing something fairly simple, but when you stagger the hands together, that's when it can kind of get challenging. Tap, tap, upstroke. That's all the right hand is playing. Tap, tap, upstroke. But the left hand will stagger between those and playing different things, the different starts. So here we go. We're going to play this paradiddle variation a couple times, and then we'll break from playing stuff. Here you go. 2, and ready, and go. We got right, left. Right, so you notice how on the first 2 strokes, basically our hands switch, right? Down, up, tap, tap. And that sets you up for the next left-hand paradiddle. Down, up, tap, tap. Sets you up for the right and the left hand. Same idea between our triplets, triplet, right? It's the same idea, but now we're just adding an extra tap in there when we play our paradiddles. Let's do that one more time, and then we'll just throw it from the left hand, and then go move on to the next thing. Here you go. 2 and go. And off the left hand, here we go. And all right, so that breaks down our accents and rebounds and our different stroke types. This little worksheet, I'll throw on some more things for this worksheet. Oh, oops, let's go do this. Anyways, I will make this little worksheet real pretty for us, and I'll throw it onto the Google Drive, and probably tonight, and I'll make sure to like post on my Discord and everything that it's up and running. Probably do that. I don't know. I need to figure out a way to get my notifications and everything across all my social media platforms. I myself am terrible at social media, but I know that that's like what is needed to make streams survive. So I'm going to try to get better just for the sake of social media for the stream. So I just want to try to get better with that. So yeah, we did a lot of stuff. We officially hit 2 hours in the stream, and that's actually the first time that we've streamed for more than 2 hours at a time. So a lot of talking, a lot of playing. I'm going to hopefully add more things every single day of the stream, and just get better and better and better and better with it. Yeah, let's see. Again, from the intro, that was Clayton Stroop. Check out his YouTube. He's going to be writing the outro, which is super exciting. I can't wait for that because he's actually done like video game soundtracks before, and I was always just so excited for that. And so when he agreed to actually make the outro music for the stream, I just feel like that was like one extra thing that makes this like a little bit more legit. So yeah, man, thank you, Clayton. And then again, you could check out all of his stuff. It's all in the Google Drive. You can check out all the links to the videos that were played earlier today, as well as his YouTube channel. And you can add him on like Facebook and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I think we're done for today. So one thing I wanted to leave us off with, I didn't really find like a new thing to play off because I think I was just like so excited with holy cow, here we go, that's the thing I'm gonna play. But so this last thing is actually someone, and I'll make sure to link this also to the outro of the episode to the Google Drive. But this last thing is like this 16-bit funk song that a guy I went to college with wrote, and he wrote it in college. So he wrote this like, God, it was like 10 years ago or something, but it still sounds so cool to me. So we're going to just like leave it off on that. His name is Austin Gelber. So yeah, you can like follow him on SoundCloud. I'll make sure to give the link to that SoundCloud as well, but I always thought that this was such a cool piece of music, so I'll leave it off on that. This is just called 16-bit funk.
Bye.